Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Weber State Esports. We're super happy to have you joining us for our NECC Rocket League semifinals up against Texas A&M White.
I know this is looking to be a great matchup here. They're the second seed coming into this, and I believe we're the sixth seed. So we're a little bit of the underdogs, but don't count us out because we have a great squad winning Game 7 last week to get here, and they had a forfeit, so they're not going to be as warm as we are.
Yeah, that can do a huge amount of mental work, but also just in terms of like technicality and insane tight plays, that can make a difference. So I'm excited to see it, and we'll be hopefully jumping in the game here shortly. Looks like there might be a small couple moments while we're waiting on people, but overall, still, there's a lot of hype to talk about, right? This is semifinals, so it's worth mentioning that the winners of this will go to finals, but the losers will still go to a consolation losers match, I suppose, to determine who's third and fourth in the entire bracket.
I know it should be great Rocket League we're going to see today. It looks like we're waiting for the other team to make the lobby, so it should be up in a minute. So looking at the ranks of all the players in the lobby, it's a really high level lobby. We're looking like mostly GC3 and up, that's all I saw, and some SSLs in there. I know all of our players peaks are like SSL, but current right now I think we're all sitting about GC3, like high GC3. So it should be a really good matchup for these two teams.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited myself as well. It's worth mentioning, of course, that, peaks are something, but I've seen many an esport game come down to the performance on the day, right? I've seen some teams that should never defeat much higher seeded, much higher performing teams, but on the day, that's all that matters. So, like you mentioned, never count a team out, even though we might be sixth seed and they're second. You never know, folks.
I'm so excited for this matchup. It's gonna be great. I'm hoping I'm just hoping for a 4-0 sweep, get us to the finals. I just want I want us to get to the finals and just be secure and be like ready to win the finals.
You know what? That's fair. I agree. We got our tense, exciting game last week. If you all were there with us, I'm sure you caught it and felt the same heart palpitations that I was feeling. It was an insane 7-game match that Weber almost ended up losing after being ahead 3-1, but they pulled it out in overtime, I believe, which was insanely exciting. So hopefully, sure, another game like that would be fun. But I think my heart would be totally okay with a 4-0 or 4-1 for Weber.
And if we can just building the momentum for the final. If they see that we just sweep the other team 4-0, it's gonna put a little bit of that mental, like, okay, these guys are really good. And it looks like we're joining now, so we should be in the game very soon.
Yep, looks like we're just getting ready to go now. So here we go, folks. Our Rocket League is here and waiting, with Texas A&M White being the home team, so blue, and Weber State being the orange. Looks like I have that a little bit reversed. Well, we'll see in just a moment, folks. I am fairly excited about... Okay, no, looks like... Okay, and we're all set up. Looks like the players are loading in, and we've got our series coming down right now, folks. So get ready, sit down, make sure you have water, and here we go.
And CRF off the rip. A quick follow-up, but it's going to be a miss. Rivers on the backboard to control.
Looks like Rivers will continue that control up the court, and CRF getting a good tap towards the wall, but Duck in a great position to maybe pass it over to another member of A&M. Ooh, a lot of tight fighting around Weber's goal here. Rivers with a decent amount of boost is demoed there, though, so P-Dubs looks like they're in a good position. Passing it to Duck, going for the goal attempt, but a good block from CRF should prevent a goal. Ooh, unfortunately, P-Dubs looks like they missed the ball there, just unfortunately at the wrong time, which means that Weber should find a lot of control.
And I'm getting a sense that this A&M team is going to be really pass-heavy from that first play we already saw. He could have just took a shot on net, instead he opted to pass it middle to let Duck get a better opportunity. So far, like most games we've seen, we're kind of just sitting in the midfield, just kind of testing the waters right now. No one's really committing.
Yep, just need that time to figure out how the enemy team plays. As you mentioned, maybe they're pass-heavy, it seems. So you need those couple minutes to figure out what's going on. P-Dub's almost finding a good position. Wasn't quite able to keep up with the ball. It looked like maybe didn't quite have enough boost. Now Rivers trying to slowly float the ball over toward the enemy goal as A&M on the defense with Duck. Siraf getting a good tap to the side, and maybe Rivers is in a good position to goal. He's not going to go for it, and is instead going to try and flip it into a better position for his team.
Good control by Rivers to slow down the play and really help Weaver reset. CRF's going to control in the middle. He should get around one. He's going to have it in the corner. Can he get it past middle?
Now Duck looks like they're in a great position to push it away and maybe actually find a good goal attempt. But no, Rivers, thankfully, right in front of Weaver's goal to deny it. P-Dubs pushing it around again, passing it over to Xerex, I will call it, I suppose. And Duck's floating up into the air, tapping the ball upwards again, trying to keep the ball in a position for his teammate as P-Dubs goes for a gentle fall goal. It's moving way too slowly to end up going in, so of course Weber will interrupt. But overall, A&M still holding control over the ball.
I know we're seeing some good pressure on Weber right now, but the defense is holding strong. But I have noticed that we were a couple moments there. We were a little low on boost. We were able to hold strong. We'll see if we can get a good counter and maybe get out of this defensive position.
And Weber's having a hard time really forcing the ball away. They'll get good pushes, certainly, but a member of A&M is always around just to tap the ball and float it down into the ground where they're in control over it. So we'll see if Weber can break this continuous long play from A&M. As absolutely no one gets a good push upwards, and maybe CRF's in a position to push away, but once again, no, A&M members ready and willing to push the ball to keep their aggression up. Duck making sure they tap it over here. It looks like another demolition from P-Dubs. I think that's their third in the series already, and we're already 3 minutes into the game.
That could have been a goal right there. He tries to pass the middle, and he actually overhits it a little. If he just barely lightly puts that middle, that could have been a goal with the demo they got. But Weber's going to hold strong. They're going to reset off of that demolition play that they had, and now we have possession on the other end.
Oh, wow, a really good attempt. Unfortunately, a little high to go into the goal. But still, absolutely no one finally breaking the offensive continuous pressure from A&M. And it looks like Weber might be on the front foot. CRF a little low on boost, but it should be Rivers who ends up actually being on the play here. Unfortunately, a car bumped by another car there, so the ball kind of just floats around for a bit. Absolutely no one getting a huge push up into the air, and Rivers maybe in a good position to get a bounce off the backboard. Duck pushing it off to the side, trying to deflect all momentum. But Weber's still in control. It looks like now Weber is the one on these offensive plays, and it's up to A&M to try and find the break, and there it is. They push it all the way over to Weber's side once more, and Zyrax in a great position.
Big clear by CRF here to get it out. He's going to be able to... He actually gets the second touch. I thought for sure he was going to get the boost. Can Rivers get a shot off? No, he's going to play back. He's going to play it safe, get the save, make sure we don't get any early goals here.
Bit of tricky, almost dribbling there from P-Dubs. I was surprised by how they had control of the ball there. That was quite impressive. But I suppose that's what you get from the second seed of this West bracket, right? This is a huge match for both teams. Winner will go to finals, as we mentioned multiple times. And an insane, just close block from Rivers there. It looked like they were going for a top-down shot, A&M. So that was a cool idea. Didn't quite work out. CRF trying to get a huge push up, get a bounce off the backboard. Once again, almost another second fall shot into the goal. Absolutely no one can't find the follow-up, and it's up to Rivers to play a little bit of setup.
Yeah, it's looking like one goal could steal away, and Rivers off the bar. His shot is saved.
We've got a slow game here, folks, so far. Of course, the series doesn't have to stay that way, but with 42 seconds left in the match, an insane block from Rivers, just barely finding the angle. Well played to Weber State, but the pressure isn't let up yet. CRF is going to have to keep up this defensive play. Zyrex trying to just tap the ball, maybe pinch it away in a weird position, but can't find it. Still, it is A&M with major control of the ball. 30 seconds remaining. Looks like we'll be going into overtime in our first game of the match if this keeps up.
Low boost, absolutely no one barely gets there with the last boost in his tank. And Weber needs a big clear here to reset the ball and hopefully get to overtime at this point. It's looking like it's not going to be good for Weber if someone is going to score. It's looking like Texas A&M right now.
Yeah, A&M just has a lot more control of the ball. So forcing the ball back to the center of the map could be huge. Oh, a potential goal there, just barely missed from P-Dubs. Oh, another goal attempt. Weber just needs the ball to hit the ground to reset momentum, and there it is. Overtime in our very first game, folks. 0-0, next point scores.
And Rivers off the goal line there to keep us in the game. This would be a big win right here if we can steal it in overtime.
Yeah, CRF with a nice flip backwards to try and label it in position, and CRF finds the goal. Insanely cool play. I both set up and gained from CRF. That was crazy. You can watch this. He pops backward and then flips his car into a great position to be fast enough to find the angle. Zyrex not able to be there in time. And 11 seconds into overtime, Weber takes game one.
I think it was P-Dubs who he was pushed up a little too close, and then he wasn't expecting that CRF touch right there. And it just pops him right over him. He can't quite get it to it, and he just has the open net to shoot on.
Great play from CRF. That was awesome. I'd love to see that cool like backwards pop up and then using the fall momentum to realign himself. That was a really cool play.
And looking at the stats here, we can see 7 saves from Rivers, really putting up the defensive work for Weber State.
We've had a really good defensive game that game. Like, in all seriousness, we've seen some rough defensive games from Weber in the past, but they were on top of it. I mean, they were under pressure for the first, I would say, 2.5, 3 minutes of that game, and they held strong, managed to get it to overtime, and score a quick goal. So, as you mentioned earlier, right, it's these games that Weber's already played. I mean, they played 7 games last week. So, I think they're pretty ready to go for it. Looks like one of the players is having maybe a small disconnect issue, so they'll be jumping back in just a second as we'll go to a little bit of a break screen. Don't worry, folks, we'll be jumping back to the game in just a moment.
And it looks like we're probably getting back in, but No, from what I could see, that was a great game for Weaver. Like you mentioned, the defensive, like they held, like they were on defense for like most of the game, and they held strong. And like even a lot of those plays were on zero boost. So to be able to stay calm in these situations where that's where the most mistakes happen, and then win the game out in overtime, that's exactly what I want to see from Weaver. And I want to see more.
Demolition from Rivers early, but an immediate goal. Just two members of Weaver missing the tap. Fortunately, a little bit of catcher curse from us there as we're like, oh, they can keep the momentum. And then an immediate goal as two members of Weaver miss. Just barely.
Yeah, just a little awkward there he jumped off the wall to try to get the pre-jump, and just a little awkward, can't quite get the touch, and then Rivers is awkward rotating back, can't quite get it. And P-Dubs with another opportunity off the backboard, absolutely no one is there to send it away.
Good news is a goal in the first 10 seconds has so much time to be made up for, right? You don't have to worry about, oh man, time's ticking away, what are we going to do? You've got plenty of time to get the pressure, find maybe an insane goal attempt, and the CRF just barely taps in from the cross-map attempt from Rivers there. Wow!
Yeah, Rivers there, he's just slamming it down the field, and what a redirect from CRF, using his wheels to get that slight touch just to knock it down into the net. What a shot.
I mean, Rivers has played well throughout all of our weeks, but CRF really wants finals today, folks. It's insane so far how they've been playing, along with Rivers with these insane defenses that have now turned into a point. I'm really looking forward to watching the rest of this game in the series for Weaver. They seem alive.
I think if CRF keeps playing how he's playing, I think this is going to be a win for Weaver.
Yeah, 100%. As maybe another goal, a good tap upwards from Zyrex, just barely finding that gentle push as an insane push on the ball there. That was cool. Duck trying to find the goal, won't get it, and then looks like P-Dubs walking away there. Absolutely no one with a good amount of boost, trying to find an angle, but it seems that Texas A&M is much more careful with their defense now. They don't want to let Weaver find another cross-map goal like they did last time.
What a save by Zyrex there. Absolutely no one to claim on the backboard. Can he get it middle? It's middle, but no one is a little too fast. No one can get to it. CRF's good control, popping it middle. Maybe Rivers is there. Rivers is already up in the midfield. Oh, a big demo on the other end. Absolutely no one's last back. He has to get the save. CRF's downfield, though. Could be big. Ooh, an awkward demo, though. Kind of throws off Weaver. Rivers with a big 50 to get that out. An awkward shot backwards on accident by Duck. I don't think he meant to hit that.
Feels like every single play in this game has really accelerated. Both teams just going full speed into the ball, popping it as fast and as hard as they can to the other side of the map. And it's caused for a very aggressive game already, especially inverse to the previous game. We're only 2 minutes in, and it feels like this game's been going on for ages.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a big switch up here, because I think after that first game where it was a little slower, a little more thought out, I think Texas A&M was like, let's get in there, let's like show them we're faster. And I think Weaver's calling them out like, no, we can play this fast too.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see this type of game. It's much more aggressive, much more chaotic. It's almost like a pinch there in the wall. I wasn't quite sure about that, but a nice amount of momentum. Zyrex in a good position to try and pop it forward, maybe go for a goal with the help of Duck, but absolutely no one in the right position to pop it away.
And shot middle like P-Dubs, but it's a little slow, and CRF will easily collect. The big demo downfield, though. Rivers can't quite connect, but CRF's there to 50 it. Can absolutely no one get... He's going to play safe, play it back.
Looks like Weaver needs to be on the defensive. Having that demo happen means that they maybe were in a good position to be offensive fully, but if they go full offense, they'll leave their goal open like A&M did for Weaver's last point. It's 1-1 so far, but this ball feels like it's constantly threatening a goal. And A&M with another pass play that doesn't pay off as CRF just tries to cancel all momentum. Looks like it's up to Rivers to defend this goal, but absolutely no one just trying to deny momentum, pushes the ball in a very weird way, which gives Weaver a lot of space to work with.
Duck's low on boost, last back. Rivers could have a shot here. He throws it off the sidewall, gets two to dive, but not... They are able to pinch it away. Absolutely no one's going to flex back on defense. He's going to troll it from the back. He has CRF on his right, but he gets 50'd in the middle.
Yeah, after Rivers and CRF now with the boost and the better positioning to keep that ball away, well, looks like absolutely no one can maybe go for a defensive pass. Oh, really good slow play from Duck, but unfortunately his teammate can't quite knock it in. Zyrex hitting the goalpost there, not actually finding the goal, and now that means that Weaver can go full offense as the entirety of A&M was trying to find that goal there. So maybe Weaver has a window to do something. CRF wins the 50 there on the ground, and maybe the ball almost goes in, just barely not able to. I don't think that was an intentional goal attempt, but it was very close.
And they'll just... Oh, and a bump attempt on the other way to go up 2-1 for Texas A&M. If this is what the situation, most teams, if you get in this, you're always going to go for this bump. And there's not much you can do on defense. You got to just try to jump over them or something. And at the end of the day, they're always just going to get that bump pretty much like 80% of the time. It's so hard. defend against.
Yeah, kudos to A&M for finding it and setting that up well. I feel like they've done really, really great at that, finding these insane team plays where all you have to do is make the ball move slowly for a moment, find out. It doesn't matter where the person that has the ball is, it matters where their setup is, and A&M's been great at that. But Weber starting to fall a little bit behind here in the game, 2-1, but also the control of the ball here has been a little lackluster as two members of Weber making an X in the goal to defend it.
And a heroic save there from CRF to get that cleared. Absolutely no one on the other side. He has little boost. He got a 50. Can't quite get the flip reset to get the shot.
CRF holding back a little bit. Yeah, he could have been in a position to go for a goal attempt, but knows that if he had missed, that would absolutely have been another goal on Weber. Weber would rather play it calm and careful, try and get another point in these next 45 seconds. Clock is ticking, but a good push over to the other side of the map. Maybe absolutely no one can tap it in, but Zyrex not able to push it far enough away, doesn't cancel the momentum.
And something must be in the water because another redirect off the pass. I don't even know if it was. I don't know if he intentionally passed that. I think he was just sent that downfield. And what a redirect by absolutely no one to get on that and put it on net.
And just like that, with 42 seconds left, we're tied again. We could go over to overtime for our second game. Ooh, maybe not though. We were finding an insane clear, and that could be the point that determines this game. How did they find that?
Off the kickoff strats from Weaver. I wonder who. I bet they called that as a strat too. That's a thing lots of teams up here in these higher ranks have. They have these kickoff strats that they work on. I bet they called that, and it works for them well. And now they 40 seconds left, they could steal game 2.
That's incredibly well done from Weaver, right? They must have adapted and seen how the enemy team has played kickoffs in these last couple games, and now saw their moment, went for it, and it paid off. Goal attempt maybe from A&M here, but will be blocked as it bounced off the backboard with the assistance of CRF. P-Dub still setting it up, and remember Weaver up a point, just has to cause chaos, make sure the ball is nowhere near, but might be able to go for another point again. Will be blocked by Zyrex at the last possible moment, and CRF in another great position. This could be their third goal of the series if they set it up. It will be denied, but with 10 seconds left, Weaver's okay with that. Weaver's just trying to play full on the other side of the map. They don't need to play hyper defense with this much time left. They just need to cause chaos, and they're doing so successfully. CRF will miss that as well, so Weaver's just needs to force it down to the ground. Looks like they will be able to get it there. Zyrex trying to keep it up, but game 2 goes to Weber State after being down 2-1.
Yeah, no, that was a great game from Weaver right there. To hold, they didn't panic. They went down a goal, and like you mentioned there on one of the defensive plays, like they just stayed calm. They just controlled. They didn't force anything, and then they were able to get that tying goal, and eventually off the kickoff they got the winning goal, and now we're up 2-0 in the series. Like this is looking like it could be a Weaver sweep.
I mean, I don't want to cast a curse it too much, but you mentioned at the start of the day, it would be really cool if we could get a 4-0 to secure that spot in playoffs, come in strong and really almost scare tactic our potential opponent in finals. But that requires 2 more game wins, so that's still a ways off. As the ball in a weird position for Weber. Not really any of them were in a great defensive place, but Rivers finally makes it in time with just enough boost to deny an attempt. Now Rivers potentially in a good position to go for a goal. Could they pass it over to absolutely no one? No, absolutely no one. Not in the right position to where A&M pushed it away.
CRF's could be there. Try to pop it middle. Rivers is waiting middle. Let's see if he can get it. He's going to go for a bump. Can't quite get it. Rivers, he gets 2 to go, actually. Absolutely no one has to collect it. That's a big 50 he gets there to keep Weaver in the game.
I wonder how the game will adapt from here. We saw game 1 was slow and careful, maybe too methodical almost. Game 2 was much more aggressive and fast, and Weber has shown they can play both styles. It's up to A&M to make the adaptations. Weber's fine to play anyway at this point. Being up 2-0, you're more than happy to force the opponent to make changes as Zyrex barely blocks a slow goal there.
And I think Texas A&M, I think they need to take a page from Weber's book, and I think they need to be more patient. If they want to get back in this game, if they can hold a little awkward at the goal line and absolutely no one there to save it.
Yeah, that was insanely close, but overall it worked out. No one scored a goal yet, so just resetting the ball's tempo here. It looks like Weber is going to have to do what they can. They're going to try and push the ball across the field, maybe deny a goal attempt, but Duck here with a lot of boost could try and float it over.
And Rivers is going to be here on the sidewall to collect. He's up off the backboard. He's going to beat one. Net's open, but P-Dub is going to get back in time. CRF's already up in the midfield. Absolute pass down to absolutely no one. He can't get quite over it to get a shot down on it. Rivers is back on defense, though. Awkward 50 middle. Could be got 2 is up, though. Rivers is going to be there. Oh, but he can't quite get the 50. And it's going to be Duck to open the scoring for Texas A&M.
Nice play for Texas A&M and a long back and forth over and over again. They found the way to find the goal. Man, that was insane. It felt like, CRF barely had enough boost to push it away, but I think because they used all their boost to push it, they couldn't make it the defensive play. Let's see if a kickoff can maybe turn in favor of Weber again, but no, with the ball pushed away, Rivers has to play defensive.
And I think off that play we saw a little bit of Weber getting a little overconfident, and the two double committed happen and causing that play to happen, like causing that gap in the defense, allowing them to score. I think that's where they're going to capitalize most if they can wait for Weber to do this double commit. Because right now with the 2 wins, we're feeling confident and we might make more mistakes than we normally would.
Yeah, ultimately, Weber just needs to be calm and collected, right? They're down 1-0 currently, and yes, they can lose a game or two, but that's what happened last series, right? Maybe they got a little too confident. They started saying, hey, we can lose a game or two, and they were forced to go to game 7. So you can already see it starting to slip out of Weber's control. 2-0 in the favor of A&M here. It's looking a little grim. Of course, there's still 2.5 minutes left on the clock, and that's more than half the game time, just barely by 9 seconds. So Weber's got time.
I know, and this is a big game. It's going to swing momentum back in Texas A&M's favor if they do win it. So Weber here, even if they don't necessarily win, but if they make this a really close game and keep it tight, it's going to do a lot in terms of keeping momentum more on their side.
Yeah, it feels like A&M definitely has adapted pretty well. It's almost a third goal comes out. They're playing a bit more together, even though they were playing together quite well before. They found a way that, maybe Zyrex and Duck trying to find a goal attempt, but 4 members cannot figure out who the ball goes to until Weber finally pushes it away. Absolutely no one maybe able to deny a goal attempt just barely, as Zyrex isn't in a good position to stop it. Rivers misses the tap away, and so it's up to P-Dubs to find the goal for A&M, and CRF to block it for Weber. CRF does pull away victory in that, and maybe a 50-50 almost one.
And in this game, I will say I'm starting to feel Weber is panicking a little more on defense than we had in other previous games, and that's the two goals we've seen so far have shown that. So I think if Weber can really what they need to take away from this game is, okay, we can lock it back in. Let's like calm down. Let's really, let's for the rest of this game, let's like lock it down. Let's not allow any more goals. Maybe we score a couple. Maybe we even steal the game. But at the very least, let's just lock it down. Remember how to play. No more double commits.
Yeah, I agree. It seems that they've gotten almost a little bit too starry-eyed with the amount of hero plays that have happened the last 2 games, right? They stole away the last one just barely, and that must have done a lot to the mental, clearly, because they're feeling a little too cocky, it seems. It seems that Weber's starting to understand that, though. I feel like their defense has been a little bit better after this point. Rivers going to maybe go for the setup here, bounce off the backboard like Weber so often likes to do, but Duck gets the push off to the side, which I think is a great momentum killer for A&M. Being said, CRF trying to just slowly push the ball in a good position. Maybe a member of Weber can pop it over and find the follow-up goal. CRF once again pushing it forward. Weber has a really good amount of control over the ball, but they will finally lose it as most of their boost has been spent. They've got to go back, recoup, and almost get scored on as they will deny it. Staying 2-0 I think is also fine in the game, right? Saying, hey, look how the second half of the game we were able to lock down, prevent any more points from being scored. That's good enough.
Yeah, no, we've definitely had a lot more offensive pressure the second half. So I think going into the next half, we were like, okay, we didn't allow any goals. We had better pressure. And I might have just cast or cursed them because right there, a little awkward on the defense. CRF jumps over the ball. Rivers is awkward. Last back, he has to try to get something. Can't quite get exactly what they need. And then a shot on the open net.
It's a good attempt. Unfortunately, does not pay off for Weber as they try and push it away and fail. But that's okay, right? Again, it's gone 3-0. The best thing you can do is just try and stay together. Prevent another goal here as a demo on Weber's member looks like they're actually really, really down in tempo. Rivers will spawn just in time to try and push it away. Maybe Weber can at least score a goal this game. They're in a good position. The ball doesn't barely go in. Oh, that's heartbreaking, and that might do a lot to Weber's mental. Just deny another point now. Prevent A&M from getting anything else and let the ball fall. That's perfectly fine. Game 3 goes to Texas A&M White.
This next game's gonna be a really big swing game. If Texas A&M can win, it's now 2-2 in the series. That next game after this, if the Texas do win, that next game will be really important. So this is the big game for Weber. Once again, this happened last week, I believe. We were up 2-0, and then we went down. We lost one, and then we went up 3-1. So we'll see if the same script is happening this week.
And the scriptwriters are getting lazy if it does. I can't believe this. My guess is that it totally will happen a similar way. At least I want it to, because it means Weber wins in the end, right? No matter how it goes. If the scriptwriters use the same script, that's fine. Either way, we'll have to see as we're jumping into Game 3 here. Weber's still up 2-1, so a slower game and slower series does benefit them, right? The more time to stay calm, figure out what they're doing, and just maintain the same level of play, the better.
And I'm looking to really all of the Weaver team, there was a lot of double commits I saw. So if we can just, it really, that's the main thing. I think if we just stop the double commits, that's going to be the biggest difference this game, and that will help us win.
Yeah, Rivers the good block there, being the member on defense that Weber needed. Now it looks like it's up to CRF to push away, and maybe Rivers can go recoup their boost and try and find the play themselves. CRF pushing it in a good position, but Zyrex will deny it. As now, members of Weber in a tense position. They're going to lose control of the ball. No, barely, absolutely no one just in the right position to push it up, and CRF has to be the one here to deny it. Just great success on the 50-50.
Yeah, right now, the big thing I'm noticing from Texas A&M, they're getting a lot of these little bumps. Even if they don't get the demo, they just get a little bump just to throw Weaver off. So if Weaver can really watch for these bump plays and really like avoid them and get around them. And oh, an unlucky bounce down by P-Dubs. I don't know who hit that. It was P-Dubs, passed to himself. It looks like CRF goes up to read it. And what is that bounce? I played the game for years, and I wouldn't even have read that.
And that was a weird angle. Thankfully, again, 1 point in the first minute. That's still 4 minutes worth of points potential. So I don't think Weaver should be too shaken up, but they're really starting to lose the momentum here. Obviously, last game was rough, but another point in this game means that momentum has extended just beyond the one singular game. It's up to Weaver to try and find the angle, but a great push over, and another quick goal. Weaver really falling apart.
Yeah, and right here, it's just the one-on-one, you know, he gets the flick over Rivers, not much you can do. But right here, that's the biggest difference I'm noticing is that these follow-up plays, is they have one play, and even if that doesn't go in, there's a follow-up ready to finish the shot.
Yeah, it's not these double immediate all-ins that Weber keeps going for that don't work. It's the one followed by a delayed second, as Weber finds a successful quick goal that will start to give them hope in the series.
And that's going to be a big goal and to swing the momentum back in Weber's favor. So going with 2-1 with 4 minutes basically left, like that's a lot of time for Weaver to get back in this game, get their hands on the reins, and take over in the series.
The game started fairly slowly, but it's really sped up in the last 30 seconds alone. 2 goals already, and maybe a third here. There it is. I cast and curse it a little bit as it maintains the speed momentum. P-Dubs gently floats it to the goal.
And we're seeing this a lot of times in these series. You do tend to see one game turn into a shootout, and I'm wondering if that's what we're seeing here right now. We'll see if Weaver can respond.
At this point, you might as well mark a free throw line and start letting the teams go for it, because it seems that's what's happening a bit here. As P-Dubs going for another attempt, won't quite find the angle, but Duck wanted to be the follow-up. Weaver will be in a good position to deny Duck's follow-up and might find an angle of their own for the first time in a little while. Obviously, they got that hero goal a while back, but they haven't really had a good position for ages. Maybe remember Weaver finds it, CRF tries to hit it, but a great block from Duck.
And Rivers is going to be there last one, he's going to get a big boost in the middle. He's going to be on backboard. He's just playing it slow, slowing it down, letting absolutely no one take over. Can't get past Duck. CRF's there on the sidewall. Big spot middle and the big miss, but Rivers is there to clean it up. CRF's there for the follow-up. Try to get a 50, can't quite get a touch on it, but absolutely no one's there to clean up and help push Weaver on offense.
It really is, as you said earlier, it's these small momentum-killing taps that are really keeping control in A&M's favor. Whether it's on the ball or another player, it's so hard for Weaver to really get a good push. But that being said, they might have found it now. It's not at the right angle to go for a goal attempt, but it's still finally in their favor. Absolutely no one popping it upwards in a decent position, but P-Dubs has enough goal to float upwards and knock it away.
CRF's going to be there on the sidewall to try to pop it middle. Doesn't have a lot of boost though. Let's see if he can get a bump maybe on his way out. Rivers there to 50 in middle. He gets a bump and absolutely no one can't quite get it on target. CRF's going to need a big 50 here. He gets the touch. Rivers has to now collect boost and be ready for an attack.
Looks like 3 members of Weber on defense there, starting to play a little bit better defensively, I would say, since this middle game. Now Weber gets a demo, which means they're in a really good position. Absolutely no one, I think, going for maybe a bluff on the hitting the ball there, or wanted to and missed. Either way, it doesn't really work out. Weber's up to CRF and Rivers to do what they can, and absolutely no one on defense. It's a good push forward. Not a goal attempt, but again, just a favorable position for Weber. The first time they've been ahead in offense in a while, but Duck wants to deny it. Doesn't have enough boost to maintain control of the ball forever, so it's up to Zyrex to stop it, but Rivers gets the good push forward, and now it's up to CRF and absolutely no one to be the follow-up.
And CRF's not going to get the 50 he wants. Absolutely no one's there to control to the side. Rivers is going to try to take, but absolutely going to pass it down to Rivers. Rivers going to get 50 on Duck. He actually gets it around him a little. Can try to pop it middle. A big pinch. Could be a shot. Oh, quite can't get the power on it. Great recovery from him to get that shot off in the first place, but he can't quite get the power needed. And Rivers is going to collect on defense. A big demo. It's a one-on-one. Big flick could score. Oh, tries to go for the air dribble bump, but just barely can't get it enough force on the bump.
A nice idea, just didn't quite pay off, but unfortunately with all these plays not quite working. Weber's time is ticking away. They've got a minute left to get 2 points just to send it in overtime, which is getting really tough. CRF has maybe good control of the ball, but doesn't have enough boost to maintain it, which means that Zyrex comes in from the side, gets a nice pop, and Rivers misses it, which means absolutely no one is the last line of defense for Weber. Will finally be able to push it back, deny a lot of that pressure, and with P-Dubs missing the tap there, Weber might be in a good position to find the goal. No, they'll just barely miss it again, and that, unfortunately, might be the end of the game, to be honest with you. Again, 48 seconds, sure, that's possible. We've seen Weber get a kickoff goal, but they've got to find it at this point.
Yeah, we're really going to need one soon. This could be it. Oh, but it barely P-Dubs to send it over off the bar. Absolutely no one. We need a follow-up here. CRF is up. He gets the big 50. He wins it. He's going to pop it middle. Rivers is there waiting. He pops it out for him. Rivers there with the shot. Top corner and big save by Duck to keep Texas A&M up by 2.
That felt like the goal that mattered. At this point, it would take so much time just for Weber to get the ball in a good position again, let alone score. Absolutely no one trying to do so now, along with the help of Rivers. Get the push upwards. Unfortunately, not quite the right angle. That was maybe the last possible chance. But I keep saying that because I want to catch or curse it. Can Weber find one goal? Rivers in a good position. It's up to Zyrex to block it if they can, but never mind. P-Dubs from the side finds exactly what they need to. The ball taps onto the ground, and game 2 ties up the score at 2-2.
Now this is good. This is gonna be close. This is gonna be a really close series now, heading into game 6, or is it game 5? Game 5. Where's it 6?
No, it's 5. We're headed to game 5, which means that we're going to at least 6 games, if
That's
not
right,
7 at this point.
And this is gonna be a really big game. That last game was like, if Weber can win to shift the momentum back in their favor, that's gonna be great. This one, I think they really need to win, because at this point, this will be the third game straight they would lose, and so at that point you're going to be down double match point. So this is like the biggest game. If Weber wants to win, they're going to need a win right now.
Yeah, often these being at the match point is always so scary. You need to make sure you keep the pressure up, especially because of the momentum in the series, right? We were up 2-0 originally, and now 2-2 tied. So they're really far behind. They need to make sure it doesn't get to them, doesn't shake them, and they can find their footing that they had in the beginning of the series. Absolutely no one just trying to push it back so that, remember, Weber with boost can come pick it up while he picks up boost. Not a terrible play. Weber's trying to tap around at the top of his car. Doesn't quite do super well, but CRF gets the push back, and Weber might be able to find finally an aggressive position for the first time. It feels like in maybe a bit.
And there's actually a little bit of a double commit on and a shot from absolutely no one, and CRF's there, but a dog with the save off the top of the net. I think that was a squishy save he actually just got, and that what a save to keep Texas A&M in this game. CRF, this is what I think we need to see. We need to see that those first 2 games that we won, we saw 2 players from Weber really showing out and giving everything out. I think that's what we need to see this game. And CRF with another shot top bins, and Rivers is going to finish it. Finally, our plays are connecting.
Not only are they connecting, they're aggressive. I mean, both Rivers and CRF seem like they're constantly using as much boost as they can to go flying toward the ball, keep it in chaos, and Weber revels in it. Wow, what a great play. All right, that being said, it's only the first point. We've seen games go all over the place after the first point, but usually, other than the second game, first point determines the victor of the game, I believe. So, good momentum for Weber already.
Yeah, no, and it's going to be a big, if we can hold on to this is going to, like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be so big in terms of mental and just resetting, like, okay, we got one back, we just need one more, that's all we need. So this is going to be a huge game to win. Absolutely no one on the sidewall. He's going to pop in middle. Rivers is up. He gets a beat on P-Dubs, but CRF can't go yet.
CRF now in a good position, trying to make sure the ball maybe is at least near the goal for someone to pop it in, but absolutely no one waiting, lying in wait, trying to go defensive, it looks like. CRF also here. All 3 members of Weber actually for a second on the defense, which is not a bad idea with the aggression that A&M has had the entire series. They found great plays and just barely not able to block the goal there. A lot of weird tapping going on, but ultimately Weber walks away with it further from their goal.
CRF's going to pop it across middle. Weber's a little bit low on boost. Absolutely no one's going to get a 50. Not great. It's popped middle. Rivers is going to have to collect on defense. He tries to go for the block the shot, but the offensive player misses. And a shot downward going. P-Dubs is going to send it away. He has boost on this wall. Can absolutely no one get a big dunk? He can. And it's going to be sent away. But CRF's there to collect middle. He has boost. He gets it to Duck. And oh, big miss. But Weber has good offensive pressure right now. And as you say that, with a big whiff in the midfield, Rivers is last back, and CRF with a big save.
Man, CRF has really been playing insanely well this series. Even the games Weber's been losing, it felt like they're usually the one on the furthest foot forward. Now CRF trying to maybe push a goal, will lose the 50-50 attempt as it's up to P-Dub to get the goal in here. Rivers with a good push away. Once again, Weaver on the defense, but the ball seems to be flying back and forth in this match, and there it is once again. Weaver's going for a goal attempt. Zyrex pops it up, but is not away.
And absolutely no one's there. Gets a pop middle. CRF's up for it, but Ducks will get it over him. He has a double tap attempt, but he can't line up the shot. It's shot middle by Duck, or P-Dubs, I mean. Oh, but it's... Eventually, if you keep popping it middle and no one gets it clear, eventually they're going to get a shot on target.
Duck to P-Dubs to Zyrex. The teamwork from all three members of Texas A&M White doing exactly what it needs to there. Tying up this game 1-1 with 2 minutes left. So this is fairly tense now. Next point could end up being the determining factor of the game. Let's see if it comes down to that, as CRF getting a quick early demolition, but unfortunately not getting the win of the ball's momentum. That's really what matters right now. Absolutely no one trying to get a potential push down center, trying to line it up through the side, but Zyrex denying a lot of that. As absolutely no one gets this Weaver's second demo of the game, and I think that might have been what mattered, as the person on defense was destroyed.
And I've actually seen absolutely no one. He's been going for these demo plays all game. He hasn't really been hitting, but he finally gets it, and Rivers has the perfect shot off the bar, unsavable. And that's exactly what we need. Finally, so that's one play I've seen that we've tried to go for. It hasn't quite hit, but finally it hits and we get the goal.
Rivers wins the kickoff as absolutely no one in a great position here, but will lose the 50-50 to P-Dubs as they tap it forward between Weavers in a dangerous position. Once again, kind of losing the 50-50 as, yeah, it goes straight up, but it's still squarely on Weaver's side. Finally, Weavers getting the push away that they were looking for, and absolutely no one trying for a goal attempt, won't quite get the angle. CRF again losing a 50-50, and now Weaver in a bad position. No one's there to score a goal. Duck trying to push away, but the patience from Rivers is enough this time.
And what an insane just to sit there and like, I'm just gonna sit on the ground, because he knows he's going for that demo. They've done it before, and Rivers just sits, he stays calm, he lets him jump over him, and then he's able to jump up and get that defensive block. Absolutely no one there. He's up for the 50. CRF's gonna collect. He pinches it away. Absolutely no one's up again. Gets a beat. Rivers is a little, he's a little patient. He's waiting. He doesn't want to get overcommitted. CRF's gonna be on the sidewall. Send it away.
Alright, Sierra finally pushing away, which means that Rivers can get the push away as well. Getting a bounce off the backboard, but P-Dubs wants to deny it from being a beneficial bounce for Weaver. P-Dubs now catching the ball as it falls gently to the ground and pass to Duck. The Duck doesn't find the tap angle. Maybe Zyrex can, but just barely blocks from absolutely no one. Now the ball pushing back to the other side, but still A&M on the offense. They need to be if they want to tie this back up. Weaver up 2-1, and with 40 seconds left, clock is ticking. Can A&M find something? Right now, Rivers pushing the ball away, but unfortunately no member of Weaver there to block. They've got to get back fast. CRF finally gets back just in time to block the ball. Absolutely no one is trying to pop it up again, cause chaos. 30 seconds left, and counting away slowly.
Rivers pops at the corner. Duck's there to send it middle. A big demo, but a big pinch out by Rivers. He sends it. He gets another touch to send it away. CRF now has boost on the counter shot. Just a little wide. P-Dubs to send it away anyway to make sure it doesn't go in. Absolutely no one. Weaver's still on offense though, and Texas A&M are low on boost. They need it here. They need it now if they want to have a chance.
They're popping up, maybe a good position here, but Rivers denying a lot of the momentum. That should be enough. Duck will need to catch us to pop it up, but will just barely miss the denial of overtime. So folks, that means Weaver up on match point. These next two games, either one could be Weaver's ticket to finals.
And that like I said, that was the big game and the momentum shift. And really, I really want to commend. I really want to applaud CRF for he really like you mentioned, he's really every game he's really been putting everything out on the field. And that game it really showed. And Rivers once again on the defense with some of the saves he was putting off. And I think that's what we need right now. We need a hero. We need someone to get in there and win us the game.
Yeah, right now that absolutely has been CRF. Insane plays pretty much every single game. Let's see if they can keep it up to earn Weaver's ticket to finals. Going to depend on if they can keep their aggressive momentum up. I really liked the aggression that we saw game 1 and 2 and 3. Good pop away from CRF, a great pop actually, pushing it all the way over to the other side. Can Rivers catch it up and try and set it up for a teammate, or will Zyrex do exactly what they just did and push it gently over?
And CRF's going to pop in middle. P-Dubs is there on the backboard. Pass middle to Zyrex. But Rivers is back. Absolutely no one's going to catch. He's going to control. Duck's going to take it off him, though. Steals the boost, but Rivers is there. Gets a punch out, but CRF's low on boost. And once again, Weaver's left low on boost, but he tries to pinch it in, but he can't quite get the angle. And it's going to actually pinch it out and help Weaver.
Yeah, it seems like Weaver's really good at finding these side goal shots, whereas Texas A&M much prefers these straight on or slightly from above. When they go for these side pinches or weird angles, it doesn't quite work out. They need this team setup for those plays, and if it isn't there, it just doesn't happen. So Weaver needs to maybe keep that in mind and try and push the ball as far off to the side as they can, as Rivers gets a good demo onto Zyrax and bumps someone else as well, it looks like. So maybe Weaver just going for an insane push over. P-Dub's in the right position to pop it upwards and maintain control over the ball for A&M.
I see Duck chasing Rivers in our net, but no one's there to hit the shot. You know, he overcommits to try to get that bump, and then it ends up making it so there's no one left to take the shot. And now CRF's going to get the big boost. He's going to be back. We got Weaver's reset. We got a good defensive position here. Awkward 50 middle, but Rivers is there all day to save that.
And both Weaver players at the corner of the net trying to make sure that they're just able and ready to block wherever it goes. As weird bouncing off the top here from Rivers, the ball just floats gently from one side to the other. Duck's trying to pop it up, but CRF pushing it away. Maybe won't get the boost and with a flip. Unfortunately, they get control of the ball. Absolutely coming flying across the map to try and set it up. Maybe Rivers can find the goal here. Pops it up. Can they get the rebound goal in? A double rebound, no, not quite, and CRF misses it, so absolutely no one actually doesn't have to go on the defense. Will be able to stay, maybe keeping pressure, but P-Dubs does get the pop-up. Rivers, in maybe a dangerous situation, is up to CRF to block it, but no one will be able to, as it looks like CRF was pushed away.
And I think it was a little awkward there, maybe a little bit of an overcommit. Rivers tries to get up to get the touch, doesn't quite get exactly what we want. It pinches middle, CRF slow boost, awkward play, and Texas A&M score off the counterattack.
Another play from Texas A&M that involves pushing another member of Weber, hopefully going for the demo. Again, it doesn't really matter if they get it. All they need is that gentle stop of momentum, and that's all it takes. So now, we must be actually careful of that, but they'll get a demo themselves, maybe set it up. Absolutely no one won't be able to push it forward where it needs to be. It's up to Rivers to try and win a 50 to push it forward. Instead, it's up to now CRF trying to set up for Rivers. Oh, but a great tap from P-Dubs, just barely to deny a goal.
P-Dubs, once again, is going to pop it away. Absolutely no one's there to take the shot. P-Dubs, again, off a save, putting on some heroics in Game 6. Rivers there, to pop it middle, he gets around it, though.
Weber on hyper offense here. Finally will be forced to go back in the defense just in time as a demo on the member of Weber that was maybe in a position to push it away. Thankfully, absolutely no one was more so there, I would say, as they get a gentle tap forward, just trying to redirect it in a way that Rivers can get to it, but it doesn't quite work out.
He's going to pass middle to Doug. A slow tap gets a beats. I believe, I don't know if it was, I think it was CRF in net. And the slow, he's not expecting that slow tap middle. He's expecting a hard shot, and he just, a slow tap to pop it in, and 2-0.
Yeah, really, really well played. Once again, another play from A&M that involves either demoing or tapping a member of Weber. They've really got to be careful of these side plays from a member of A&M coming swinging as someone else controls the ball. They need to be careful as another goal almost comes out. And Weber's really starting to lose control of the ball in the last couple of minutes of this game. They need to find their angles again, maybe go for these side goals and maybe play a bit better on defense. It seems like they got a little too aggressive again like they did in Game 3.
You know, we're getting a little too aggressive. We're getting punished for it. So we still got time. There's still about 2 minutes left in the series. About to go a minute. But I just saw a double commit on the defense there. But CRF is going to collect up in midfield. Pops in middle. Ducks going to send it away.
All right, looks like Zyrax going to continue to push it towards Weber's goal. Go for a goal attempt, but it was a bit of a long shot. Of course, you always want to try for those. As maybe Zyrax in a good position won't be able to get it. As all three members of Weber in the corner for a couple seconds there, just trying to make sure someone has good control of the ball with the amount of boost they have. Barely a save from absolutely no one. They kind of just tap it upwards so it bounces off the backboard. That's really all they need right now. And they will win that 50 there a little bit, but Duck is in a better position to follow up.
And the shot middle by Duck. And we were just going to send the house to get that save there. Absolutely no one on backboard now to collect. He's going to send it away. He has a little bit of boost. He might be able to get a 50. He can't quite get there, but CRF, he actually misses. Get the demo, though. Rivers last back. He's going to pop middle and big 50 by Rivers. And this could be a hit. Weber needs a big counterattack here and now if we want to get into this game.
Man, and with 47 seconds left, they need to find it soon, or this will be one heck of a playoffs through and through. I mean, we went to 7 games in quarterfinals, and the way this game is currently going, it looks like it will be going to 7 games as well. Duck kind of pushing it away from Weaver's goal, kind of accidentally, it looks like. I felt like maybe Zyrax P-Dubs could have been there if they had kept it, but instead they decided to just deny it again. Ultimately, causing chaos is beneficial for A&M. Can they keep it up? Trying to pop down to CRF as CRF attempts to go for a bit of a flip into it, but can't get enough of a good position.
A pinch by Duck middle to P-Dubs. He shoots it top bin, but CRF's there to get the save. After no one on the backboard, sends it away. He's going to get in the corner. Can't get the 50 he wants. CRF can't get the 50 he wants. Rivers now has to try to collect.
All right, with 5 seconds left, they would need to score a goal and then repeat that basic immediate kickoff goal they got, but that will be the ball touching down. And folks, don't get comfy. Don't be happy yet, because we've got a Game 7 just after last week's Game 7. What a playoffs!
I think Weaver came a little too offensively we kind of regressed again once we got too offensively pressured. We got some overcommits. We let some 2v1s on defense, and they scored off of it. So now we need to dial it back just a hair, keep the offensive pressure, but find passes, find demos, find what's been working. And I really need to see, I think, a little bit more. If I could see a little bit more from absolutely no one in this game 7, I think that's gonna make all the difference. And off kickoff, CRF's gonna score.
Well, they needed it last game, but ultimately it works even better this game, right? Sure, obviously, winning last game would have won you that ticket to finals, but this one does too. Weaver had 2 chances, and they finally found that kickoff goal they were looking for.
Now, last thing we want to do now is give a kickoff goal right here off the kickoff. So I don't want to curse it, but it's looking like it's not going to happen. But chasing Rivers in net, and Rivers gets the big save. Absolutely no one's there. Send it away. Rivers is there to collect. He has a 1v1 opportunity. Shoots it in, but Duck's barely going to get the save.
We were clearly doing much better in this final game, even though it's only been about 15-20 seconds. I think the best play, unironically, could just be to cause chaos, as I say, usually toward the end of the game. But again, being up 1-0, if you can maintain that, that theoretically can win you a game and a series. With ball going all over the place, can Rivers push it downwards, not able to find the goal? CRF, unfortunately, not able to find the ball either. So absolutely no one pushing it there was crucial to deny an A&M counter goal.
And absolutely no, CRF's going to actually be the one who turned on this to collect. He's going to just collect. He's going to get a big 50 in midfield. He actually wins it, and Rivers is there chasing. He's going to get a shot. High off the bar to himself, double tap Rivers to put us up 2-0.
Weaver has decided that they want that ticket to finals. They're done playing around and already up 2-0. This is a good start. It's not enough though. Don't rest on your laurels, Weaver. There's plenty of time left. Just keep up your momentum.
And off the kickoff, we're going to see Rivers take the kick. Absolutely no one's there for the shot. And 3-0, another kickoff goal for Weaver.
I mean, this is insane. Okay, I don't believe this series we have seen someone go up 3-0 and not win the game. I don't think we've seen someone go up 3-0 yet at all, right? The highest score difference we saw once was 3-1 and then 4-2, so 1 minute in, not even fully, and we were up 3-0, 2 kickoff goals essentially. What an insane series of plays. If you're A&M, you've got to be feeling the pressure now. I mean, you felt good at coming out of that last game, and now you're so far behind. If Weaver can just maintain their control and continue almost stressing out the members of A&M, they should take the series.
And Weaver's done a great job here. You know, if they were saving their gas, they're using it at the right time. And CRF's there in the corner. He's going to pop in middle. Can Weaver go up 4?
I mean, where was this Weaver state the rest of the series? Like you said, either holding something back or just wanting to make the series interesting. My goodness, says, oh, the goal attempt will not go in. Insane taps barely from Weaver to deny 2 goal attempts.
Now Weaver's putting up some defensive play of their own. CRF's already up, pre-jumping off the backboard. He actually misses, but he does good enough to make them think he was going to hit it. Absolutely no one's going to be able to send it away.
Sending it away is great. Anytime you push the ball super, super far, seconds tick away from the clock, and that's all Weaver needs to play for. 1 second at a time. A demo from CRF means that Weaver has a couple seconds of a good position and a good amount of boost, but it will eventually slip away. And you can see none of the members of Weaver trying to go for an insane play right now. 2 members being defensive, and only CRF up forward. As now it looks like they'll swap off who's forward, as maybe a backboard goal will be denied. But Weaver playing much more defensive this game. They know their win condition, and it's the current scoreline.
And CRF's on the sideline, yeah, like he said, it seems like Weaver's play right now, they're just kind of hitting it into the corner and just keeping it on the blue end, and that's exactly all they need to do with 3 minutes left, or 2.5.
A nice flip reset there from absolutely no one, again, just to maintain control over the ball. That's all they need, as Rivers is not satisfied with that, though. They want to ensure it up 4-0 with only half the time left. I think that just about seals it. But I don't want to cast a curse it, so I will continue to say it's always possible.
You know, Texas A&M, you can see that they're starting to panic a little right there. They're like, we're down 3, we need something, and they're a little bit of an overcommit. One of them goes to get mid-boost while they're getting that 50, and Rivers is able just to pound it into the net.
Wow, an insane game. A final game that really delivers. Hey, didn't you say at the beginning of the series you wanted a Weaver 4-0? Well, I guess it's happening in a way that we didn't expect it, huh? Game 7, and the scoreline is 4-0.
And Texas A&M are not out of it yet. P-Dubs wins a big 50 and is able to secure the goal. Absolutely no one can't quite get exactly what he wants. Loses all his momentum on the 50, and P-Dubs is able to finish it.
All right, that's on me. I'll admit that was a full cast of curse. I was hoping that we'd get that 4-0 scoreline that would become true in some way. But instead, Weaver loses 1 goal, still up 3 points. They just need to stay calm. But another kickoff goal. Oh, no. Okay, there it is. I thought it would maybe miss, but now Weber on the inverse of what they started with. The second half of the game immediately going back in A&M's favor. Weber's got to be careful.
I know that's a scary goal to concede right there, because you're up 4 goals. You're like, okay, this is it, we're gonna win. And now they get 2, and now you're like, okay, wait, they could come back. And now there's that doubt creeps in your mind. And Weber right now, the best thing they can do is just score another one.
Yep, that's always the best thing you can do. Widen that gap just ever so slightly, as Duck somewhat wins the 50-50, but ultimately it's just popped to the side, so not too big of a deal. Zyrex going for a push will be tapped aside by a member of Weber, which gives them a second, but once again a ball in a great position, absolutely no one being the member of Weber to save it, and Zyrex has to fully reposition, use their boost as best as they can. P-Dubs goes for a tap and does succeed, but a member of Weber just barely pushing it away. That looks like Rivers it was. Siraf and absolutely no one being the tag team right now to try and keep the ball in a great position. Absolutely no one being a tag team with himself a little bit, almost for a goal there. Rivers trying to push forward, got the ball in a falling, gentle position, but with Siraf missing the ball, that's dangerous for Weber. They've got to play defense for a bit.
And Doug pops it over, absolutely no one. Rivers is going to be there just to barely get that touch off the backboard anyway. Siraf's there on the sidewall, but a pinch over him, but it's also over the net. Absolutely no one's good control in the corner.
Siraf got an important demo there on the member that would have been in position to score a goal. So now it's up to absolutely no one to try and push it away. Weber looks like they will slowly win these taps, just trying to push it away. Another demo for Weber means that Siraf gets the huge tap upwards, and Rivers doesn't quite get control over the ball. Another demo for Weber. Right now it seems like they're almost playing for them. I know they were playing for one earlier, but with the 3 demos back-to-back from Siraf in the last couple minutes, they're doing really well.
And yeah, once again, they're starting to get into a good rhythm of just, all right, I'm just going to hit it. I'm going to keep it in this corner on the blue side. Maybe I'll get a shot. Maybe I'll score. Okay, they got it in. Okay, I'll get another 50. I'll keep it in the corner.
Ooh, weird momentum hit there from Absolutely. With the angle that came in, I did not expect it to go straight up, but it sure did. 37 seconds left. Weber needs to keep the ball as far away from their goal as possible. We've seen both teams this game alone score a goal in the first 10 seconds of a point, so they need to be careful. Another demo from CRF. That's insane. I think they've had 5 this game.
And another by Rivers. CRF's going to send it the long way. And Xerex going to have to collect on the wall. He needs a big hit here. He gets a pinch around Rivers. P-Dubs is there. They have to score now. It's now or never. Do or die. What does Texas A&M have to say? Flip reset. Bumps his teammate off. Doug with the shot, but a big save by Rivers. And Rivers and Weber State are going to the finals.
Ladies and gentlemen, your finalists next week are Weber State against a team that will be decided soon. Wow, what a series. I can't believe that turned out that way. Oh man, that was so exciting. It went all the way to 7 games. Again, I thought for sure that couldn't happen, but here we are. Woo!
And it seems the script writers really are liking the underdog story, and Weber State is heading to your finals. And it's going to be an interesting finals, because I know from what I was looking at, the 1 seed was already knocked out earlier. So it's going to be a 6 seed and maybe a potentially, I think it's looking like either an 8 seed or the 5 seed. So it's going to be some high seeds final. So an underdog is winning no matter what. And I'm rooting for Weber State.
Yeah, worth mentioning the potential teams that could go into finals on the other side of the semifinals are both teams that took down higher opponents. A 5th seed that took down a 4th and an 8th that took down a 1st. So potential huge finals matchup, and we hope to see you next week for that game, folks.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, 2 game 7s. Can we go 3 for 3? Let's go. I can't wait till next week finals. This is going to be an insane matchup. I'm so happy.
Me too. All right, enjoy your evening, folks. We'll see you next Wednesday.